Hi everyone, it's Ben and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'd like to do something a bit different than what I normally do on the channel. I would like to show you one of my own personal game. So this is a game that I played during the first round of the French National Chess Open Tournament. So this is an open tournament in classical games, which means that the games, you start the game with 1.5 hour on the clock. Your opponent has 1.5 hour as well, and then you get 30 minutes of additional time once you reach the 40th move of the game. So those games are quite long. They last usually anywhere between 1 hour to 4 to even 5 hours in certain cases. I have played classical game before in the context of playing team matches with my chess club, but I had never done an open tournament. And the difference is during an open tournament, you play every day for about a week or so. In this case, it's 9 rounds, so the tournament lasts for 9 days. So this is a first for me. It's a first experience. It's very mentally and physically demanding, I find, because each game requires a lot of effort. So and the rhythm is quite intense because it's one game per day. So a new experience for me, but quite a very good one, I would say. Very interesting, very good learning experience. So right now the tournament is still ongoing, and I will be reviewing all of my games as we move along. So here is the game sheet. I'm going to walk you through the moves that were played. So in this game I was playing as black. My current over the board rating is 1721 and my opponent was rated 1644. I was super nervous at the beginning of the game. My heart was pounding super hard in my chest. And I think my opponent was a bit nervous too. I could see in his body language when he sat down that he was also very nervous. So both of us very nervous, probably quite new to this. He was probably quite new to this as well. And he started the game with e4. So those of you who watch the videos regularly know that usually against e4 I play c5, the Sicilian. He continued with knight f3. I played d6, and here he played c3. So c3, it's a sideline, but it's a very good sideline. It's called the delayed Alapine Sicilian. The regular Alapine Sicilian, it's when you start with e4, c5, and c3 directly. But this is actually completely different from this version. So here we get e4, c5, knight f3, d6, c3. And the move that I played here is knight to f6, which I think it's the most played move in this position. So he played bishop to e2. And here already you might be wondering, what if we just grab the pawn? But this is a trap, because white here has the great move queen to a4 check, forking the king and the knight. So here you would be losing the knight as black, which is why we do not play that move straight away. We play knight b to d7 first, and now that this diagonal is blocked, we are actually threatening to capture the knight. So he played d3 to defend this pawn, and here I played b6, and my idea was to put this bishop on b7 and add some pressure on the e2, e4 pawn. So he played knight to d2, I played bishop to b7, and he played short castle. The game continued with what did I play here? Oh yes, I played g6. The game continued with g6, and he played rook to e1. So g6, I just want to put my bishop on g7, and we are going to get a double fianchetto type of setup, with both bishop being on the b7 and g7 square. But long term, I think this bishop is well placed in that on that square. It's the typical setup that people always play in this type of position, at least as far as I'm aware. So here, after he played rook e1, I played bishop to g7, and he played knight to f1. So I was a bit surprised by this move, because but it actually makes some sense, I suppose. He wants to put his bishop on g3, and from g3 the knight, his knight on g3, and from g3 the knight will be defending the pawn, and he has freed the diagonal for his bishop. So I guess that was his reasoning. But here I think he could maybe have played d4 directly, although no, d4 blunders the pawn. So okay, I guess he had to go knight to f1. Anyway, so he played knight to f1. I played short castle, and he played knight to g3, completing his knight maneuver. And here I played. What did I play? Oh, never mind. He didn't play knight to g3 right away. He played bishop to e3 first. And after bishop to e3, I played h6. So h6, my idea is that if he plays something like queen to d2, I can play king to h7, and I'm defending the h6 pawn with my bishop and my king, and he doesn't have the ability to trade off the dark square bishop. I wanted to keep this bishop because I was quite fond of its placement on the long diagonal. But really here, I could probably have played something else, like e5 was probably fine. Queen to c7 probably was a good move as well, or maybe even something like rook to c8. All those moves you typically play in this type of position. I didn't have to play h6. That was just my idea. And you'll see in the continuation of the game, this h6 move came back to kind of haunt me a little bit. So I played h6, and now he played knight to g3. And here I played queen to c7. Queen to c7, I'm going to put a rook on c8 as well. And when he tries to play d4, and I take on d4, this is I'm going to have a strong battery of queen and rook on the c file. So this is kind of to deter him from playing d4 too easily. You will see like everything revolves around like preventing white from playing d4 directly. So after that, he played queen to c2, and I played e5. Again, clamping down on the d4 square so that he doesn't have the ability to play d4 without creating some trouble. So he played rook e1, reinforcing the d4 square. And here is where I started to go off a little bit. I played knight to a7. Better was probably to play simply d5, and after he takes and I take with the knight, my position is absolutely perfectly fine as black. It's probably even a little better for me because I have more central control. My pieces are less clamped, are more developed than his pieces. It's just overall better for black. Not much better, but slightly better. But here, after knight a7, my idea was to play f5 and to start an initiative on his king side. I noticed that he had this bishop and this knight very close to each other, so I thought maybe there is some threat of creating a fork on f4, and that will give me some initiative on the king side. But this was just a very bad idea because of his next move. He played queen to c1, and queen to c1, now you see that since my king cannot come to h7 anymore, I don't have the ability to defend this pawn. I have to push it forward with h5, and here now he can play bishop to h6, and he's going to force the trade of the dark square bishop. So that's what he did, that's what he played. So here my position is still fine if I play correctly, despite knight to h7, which was inaccurate. But here I made a big mistake. I played knight to f6, and the better move was the other knight to f6, because I need this knight to control the g4 square to prevent his queen from coming to g4. The problem here in this position is that he already has a lot of pieces looking at my king, the two knights, the bishop, and if the queen comes in, then I'm going to be in danger of getting checkmated. He's going to be looking at sacrificing some pieces to open up my king and deliver checkmate. And that's kind of what happened in the game. After knight to f6, he played quite accurately, I would say, the move knight to h4. And here I started to... I saw that I was getting... I was starting to be in trouble, and that he was going to get a lot of initiative, and that the position was getting very dangerous. So I started to be a bit nervous. I was kind of angry at myself for playing this dumb knight h7 move, which is why I played knight f6. I wanted to rectify my mistake, but that wasn't a great decision. I should have played something else. So here I fought for like I think at least 15 minutes to find some defensive resources, and I came up with this. I played knight to e8, because if I don't do anything, for example, if I play g5, here is what happens. He takes the bishop. I saw all of that while I was calculating. I take with the king, and he has knight f5 check. And here, no matter what I do, I'm going to get checkmated. There is no way to avoid it. If I don't take the knight, he simply comes with the queen, and it's going to be checkmate. And if I do take the knight, same exact story. He takes with the other knight, and I'm going to get checkmated anyway. So obviously, I cannot let that happen. And I saw that if I play knight to e8 and he takes with the bishop, then I can take back with the knight, and I don't get checked when he comes to f5 with his knight, and I can recapture with the pawn or the knight if I need to. So I thought, okay, that should help me defend my position. The thing that I saw it into the game, but I was hoping he wouldn't see it. Here he can actually sacrifice his bishop on h5, and if I take with the wait, never mind. No, that's not in this position. Sorry. On the previous move, when I played knight to e8, here he can actually sacrifice. If he sacrifices on the next position, it doesn't work anymore. But here he can actually take with the bishop, and if I take with the bishop, then as you can see, like my king doesn't have enough pawns in front of it to defend it, and his queen is coming to g5. To g5 very quickly, and is going to deliver checkmate. And I get checkmated or I lose a lot of material. So in both cases, I lose the game. Fortunately, he didn't see that. He took the bishop instead, and I was quite relieved that he did that, because after my knight come here, oops, the pawn was on d6. Pretend that it has always been on d6, please. And after his knight comes here, I knew that I was starting to... my position was starting to improve. And here he played queen to h6, and I played queen to d8. I saw that if he tries to sacrifice the bishop now, with the idea that if I take, then it's going to be knight here, and if I take this knight, then he comes here, and basically this knight is coming here, and I'm getting checkmated again. So I saw that if he does that, if he actually tries that, taking on h5, I can take the knight with the queen, and now this bishop is pinned, and I'm going to... There's a knight here, my bad. So if this happens, then I can take with the queen, and I'm going to win this bishop, and probably I'm going to reverse the position and get an advantage out of this. So he cannot do that, and instead he tried knight f3, and still here I think the computer gives a good advantage to white. So I played knight to f3. No, wait, never mind. I played knight to e6, and here knight to e6 is to control the g5 square, because if I play, for example, queen to f6, then he gets knight to g5, and again I cannot prevent him from checkmating me. So I played knight to e6, and now I'm controlling this square and he cannot come with his knight. And here what he should do is probably actually start playing in the center again and play something like d4. Although d4 I think it blunders yeah, he should probably play d4 at some point and try to open up the center to create another threat on this side of the board on top of his threat on the king side. But instead he played, what did he play? I think he played bishop to f1. Was it bishop to f1? Yes, that was, he played bishop to f1 and I played queen to f6. And here he played rook to d2, but instead I think he should have played d4, because if I don't do anything, for example, if I play some stupid move like, although d4 maybe I cannot simply play queen to g7, so I don't know. Maybe d4 wasn't, maybe he had to play I think he probably had to play d4 on the previous move, like d4, queen to f6, and here he gets bishop to b5, and if I move my knight away, or if I defend, but let's say for instance I move the knight away, then he gets knight takes h5, and I cannot take that knight because my queen is undefended on the f6 square. So that's what he should have done probably on the previous move, but instead he played knight to bishop to f1, I played queen to f6, and he played rook to d2, and I think he wanted to double up the rook maybe on the e file or the c file. I'm not sure exactly why he did that, but okay, that's what he did. And here I knew that I was out of the woods and that my position was good again, and that there was nothing to really worry about anymore, that his attack has kind of run out of steam, so I wasn't worried anymore. So here I played d5, and he played, I think he played a3. No, wait, what did he play? d5. He played h3. So h3, really, I didn't understand that move. I don't really know why he did that. I have no explanation for it. And he allowed me to go d4, which I was quite happy to get, because now I have a lot of space in the center, and his knight are kind of stuck here, and my knight are going to be able to move around my pawns and create some threats if the position stay close. But the position didn't stay close because he took on d4, and I took with the c pawn, and he played rook to c1. So maybe that was his plan all along with rook to d2. He wanted to double up on the c file. But the problem for him here is that I'm in time to basically prevent him from controlling the c file. So those moves happen in the game, and we exchanged a rook, and we exchanged all the rooks were traded off the board. So I took with the bishop, and basically here we get that position, and here I knew that I was actually better because of my next move. First he played a3. I think he wanted probably to go b4 at some point, or maybe he wanted to prevent my knight from coming back to one of these squares. I don't really know why he did that actually. But I get the move knight to f5 here, and I knew that I was better here because this pawn is going to be under a lot of pressure. The bishop is going to come to a6. So that will be two attackers on this pawn with only one bishop defending it. And I think already he has to play some move like knight to e1 in order to defend it. And overall the position is better for me because his bishop is bad behind his pawns. It's blocked by his own pawns, while my bishop has a lot of room to move around and create and attack stuff and do some important things. And his queen is now kind of misplaced on this side of the board. But probably should have played knight to g4 at this point and forced the queen trade, because his queen is not really serving any purposes anymore. But he didn't. Instead, he blundered and he played knight to e2. So knight to e2, I think his thought process was that if I take the pawn, then he gets to take my pawn and he has a discovered attack on the knight. So the problem here is that it doesn't work at all, because I have knight takes h3 check. So you have to take the knight, otherwise you just lose a pawn for no compensation. And here I just grab the f3 knight, which is undefended. So that was played in the game, and here I already knew that I was about to win the game. So he played knight to g3. We were both low on time at that moment, so I was a bit stressed out by that, but the situation was we were both low on time, so it wasn't just me. I think we had like some 10 minutes left or so of the 1 hour and a half of initial time that we get. So here I played knight to c5. That was the plan. The knight comes to c5 to threaten this pawn, and he played bishop to g2, and I took with the pawn. And here he played knight to f5. When I saw this, I was like, I realized that he had to be desperate to play such a move. But he's actually threatening checkmate in 1 on g7. So I have no choice to take with the knight. So I took with well, first of all, I delivered check on d1. He went to h2 with his king, and then I took with the pawn, which was actually a mistake. It was better to actually take with the bishop, and when he takes, to take with the queen. So not accepting the sacrifice, but in this position I have 3 extra pawns. I have a very active knight. His pawn structure is very bad, my pawn structure is very healthy, and his queen is kind of misplaced, so I'm going to have no trouble, no issue winning this endgame at all. So the problem here is that, well, first of all, if I take right away, I saw that he had queen to g5 check, and when I come here, he gets queen to h5 check, and actually this is a perpetual check situation. Like wherever I do, he's going to be able to check me, and that saves him the game, which is why I thought that if I include what was the position again here, so that's why I included queen to e1 check first, because after king to h2, when I take the queen was here and my king was here, and those are the moves. And because I thought after I take here, now my queen is defending the h5 pawn, so when he checks me and I go here, he cannot take this pawn with check because my queen is defending it. But actually what I missed in this situation is that if he takes with the pawn, this position is actually a draw. This position is actually a draw. Why? Because whatever I do is going to have enough threats against I cannot bring my pieces back to close to my king fast enough to prevent him from checking me to prevent him from finding a perpetual check. So for instance, if I play something like queen to e2, maybe looking to attack that pawn, he gets queen here, and he's attacking this pawn, and I have, although maybe I could play queen here to defend the pawn, which is probably what I should have done, but then he comes back here, and he keeps making threats in such a way that I cannot really get my pieces coordinated fast enough in order to create some attacking chances against his king, or bring back my pieces to defend him. Because now he's threatening this pawn again, so I have to defend it back with the queens, and he just repeats move. And if I try something else, well, basically, like, what can I do here? Like, there is kind of nothing to do. Like, if I play here, he just checks me, and if I ever go here, he's going to check me. I have to come back. He doesn't even have to take the bishop. He can simply go back and check me. So I'm forced to go back to the H file, and there is no way to get out of this situation. The only way to get out is if he blunders and he played f6 looking to checkmate me, then I would have knight to e6, attacking the king, preventing the checkmate. But he didn't see that. He didn't see that. So after I played pawn take, what happened in the game is that he checked me. I went here, and then I think he was very low on time, and he was probably kind of burnt out from defending and trying to, and probably was very frustrated that he didn't find the finishing blow earlier in the game, and he got blindsided, and he played queen to f5 check. So queen to f5 check just blunders the queen in one move, and after I took the queen, he just resigned the game, and I won the first game of my tournament, which I was very happy about. And I only realized that he had this draw when I came back home and I started analyzing the game. So that was pretty crazy. Right, so learning for this game, don't play plans that don't fit the position, like the knight to h7 idea. Then in order to play f5 just didn't belong in that type of position. You don't play attacking plans against your opponent kings when the center is not locked, and also it just blundered queen to c1. So don't do that, and also just be resilient, very important. If I hadn't been very resilient in this game, I wouldn't have been able to save it and then reverse the situation and win it. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the game. I will be covering more of my own games as the tournament goes on. And thank you very much. If you watched until the end, you are absolutely great. I absolutely love you. Thank you so much. And in any case, have a nice day, and I see you in the next one. Bye.